Once upon a time, in a little cottage in the woods, lived a boy named Max. Max loved to draw and paint, but he wasn't very good at it. He often got frustrated when his paintings didn't turn out the way he wanted. One rainy afternoon, Max was exploring his attic, looking for something to make art from. That's when he found an old paintbrush tucked away in a dusty corner. It looked like one of those magical genie brushes you see in the cartoons. Max took the paintbrush home and cleaned it with soap and water. Then he dipped it into some leftover paint and started painting. At first, nothing happened. The paint just sat on the paper. But after a few moments, Max noticed something incredible. The drawing he had made was moving. A little bluebird hopped off the page and fluttered around the room. Max was stunned. He had never seen anything like this before. He tried painting something else. This time, it was a bouquet of colorful flowers. As he added the finishing touches to the painting, the flowers began to bloom right before his eyes. They grew tall and strong, filling the room with their sweet fragrance. Max was in awe. He couldn't believe that his paintings were coming to life. He spent hours painting all sorts of things: animals, plants, even tiny furniture and houses. And each time he finished a drawing, it sprang to life just as the sun set over the hills. Max decided to paint a picture of his dream house. It was a big castle with tall towers and a wide moat. As he put the finishing touches on the painting, the castle came to life. But there was something strange about this creation. While Max had brought all his other drawings to life with just a few strokes of the brush, it took him almost an hour to finish the castle. And it seemed as though the longer he worked on a painting, the more lifelike it became. When Max stepped back to admire his work, he noticed a small figure standing by the castle wall. It was a little creature with long ears and a bushy tail. At first, it looked like a harmless field mouse, but then it did something unexpected. It scurried down the castle wall and disappeared through a crack in the floor. Max frowned. He hadn't meant to trap the little creature inside his painting. He dipped his brush into some water and carefully traced over the crack. The water flowed like a river, connecting the two halves of the painting and allowing the creature to escape. But instead of running away, the little creature did something even more surprising. It stood up on its hind legs and bowed to Max. Then it dashed out of the room, leaving Max even more confused than before. Just then, the bluebird that Max had painted earlier flew down onto his shoulder. "That little guy is a gremlin," it chirped, "and your paintbrush is a magic paintbrush. Whatever you draw with it will come to life. And the longer you spend on a drawing, the more alive it becomes. But gremlins are troublemakers. If you don't catch him, he might cause all sorts of chaos." Sure enough, Max heard loud crashes coming from downstairs.
The gremlin was causing all sorts of mischief.
Max knew he had to do something, but how could he stop a creature that was as quick and agile as a mouse? Then he had an idea. He grabbed his paintbrush and started painting a big, sturdy pair of shoes. One step at a time, the shoes came to life. They were too big for the little creature, but Max didn't care. He tied the laces together to make a tight little net.
Then he carefully approached the gremlin and gently placed the shoes over his paws.
The gremlin struggled for a moment, but it was no match for Max's quick thinking. Once he had the gremlin trapped, Max took it outside and set it free. From that day on, Max was careful to only use his powers for good. He learned that great power comes with great responsibility, and using it wisely would bring happiness to everyone around him. The little cottage in the woods became a place where magic and imagination knew no bounds. All thanks to a boy named Max and his trusty paintbrush. The end.